Good day, learners! Today, I am going to discuss the Lesson 1 from Module 1, Quarter 2 of English 9. Are you ready? Get your modules now! The learning competency that we are going to focus on today is make connections between text to particular social issues, concerns, or dispositions in real life. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to, the first one is to identify the author's purpose and message in a speech. Number 2, to demonstrate understanding of the speech by answering different activities. And number 3, to relate the message of the social issues and real life situations. Open your module 1 on page 2. Go to Let Us Try. So using a bubble map, brainstorm on the words empathy and justice. Write words or phrases that you think describe or relate the two words. The bubble map has two circles that link the two words. In this sense, reflect on a word or a phrase that links the two ideas. Remember these words as we go deeper into the implications of empathy and justice in modern times. Okay, so basically for this part, you are just going to think of the words or some phrases that you think can relate to empathy and justice. So when you say empathy, this is this is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Yes. While justice is the behavior or the treatment. On the next page of your module, you can see the speech I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King. So this is a very popular public speech and it happened on August 28, 1963 at Lincoln Memorial. There were over 250,000 civil rights supporters, and this speech is a defining moment of the American civil rights movement. Martin Luther King is a very popular person from the history. So let's talk about some background about him. So he is an American Baptist minister, activist, and humanitarian. He is the leader in the African American civil rights movement, and he is best known for his role in the advancements of civil rights using nonviolent civil disobedience, and one of the greatest orators in American history. And on October 14, 1964, he received the Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through nonviolence. So I think every one of you is already very familiar about the lives of the African American people or the Black people from the past. So during those times, they were, let's say, they were discriminated by the white people. Let's have more details about the speech of Martin Luther King. So here, King's speech invokes the Declaration of Independence, the Emancipation Proclamation, and the United States Constitution. Early in his speech, King alludes to Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address by saying, 5 score years ago. So in reference to the abolition of slavery articulated in the Emancipation Proclamation, King says it came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. So in this part, King is hoping to gain the freedom that he and the African American people have been longing for a long time. Yes, and early in his speech, King urges his audience to seize the moment. So he said, now is the time, is repeated 3 times in the 6th paragraph. The most widely cited example of anaphora is found in the often quoted phrase, I have a dream, which is repeated 8 times as King paints a picture of an integrated and unified America for his audience. So in his speech, he repeated the word the phrase "I have a dream" many times because it has been his dream to have the freedom to get away from the slavery of the white people. And other occasions include 100 years later, we can never be satisfied with this fate. Let freedom ring and free at last. So basically, his speech is about telling the people to stop the slavery of the African American. The ideas in the speech reflect King's social experiences of ethnocentric abuse, the mistreatment and exploitation of blacks. So the speech draws upon appeals to America's myths as a nation founded to provide freedom and justice to all people, and then reinforces and transcends those secular mythologies by placing them with a spiritual context, by arguing that racial justice is also in accord with God's will, and to give African Americans the freedom and equality they deserve. So Martin Luther King became the voice of the black people in achieving freedom and justice. After a long time of being discriminated, they finally gained what they have wanted for a long time because of King's bravery. When you read the speech of Martin Luther King, "I Have a Dream" in your module, you will go across these questions to ponder. So let's discuss them one by one. Okay, for the question number one, do you know how it feels like to be thrown out of your own land? I think nowadays we are very lucky enough because we don't have this kind of experiences. But if ever you have, you can also share it by writing your answer in a one whole sheet of paper. For number two, what do you think would happen if there were cry for an equitable and just society would result to physical violence in the process? Yes, so if you think about it, what do you think happened to the people if there were some physical violence involved in achieving their freedom? What do you think will happen to the people? What do you think will happen to Martin Luther King? Yes. For the question 3A, what characteristics of water and a mighty stream can you think about relating to the statement in the paragraph 13? So you're going to examine this phrases, this word, and try to relate it also to your own personal experience. Then for the question 3B, what do you think Martin Luther King meant with the line, "We will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream"? So give your own understanding about this line. What have you understood, or can you relate it to your own experience? Then for question number 4, have you also been misjudged by other people because of how you look on the outside? How does that make you feel? I think nowadays there's a lot of bullying happen, especially in social media, right? So do you have such experience? And I'm sure you don't want such experience, right? So as a student, I think it's also essential for you to consider the feelings of the other people. So always remember, do not do unto others what you don't want others will do unto you. So if you don't want to be bullied, you should not bully other people as well. Yes. And for the last one, question number 5, are you free, truly free? What does it mean to be truly free according to Martin Luther King? In your life now, do you think you're already free or not? Or what is free for you? What is your definition of freedom? So try to share your experience of understanding freedom. After reading the speech of Martin Luther King, I have a dream. So I think you're now ready to answer the following questions to dig a little deeper into the key themes in the speech. So your answer should not be less than 20 words per question. So for number one, what was his dream? So based on the speech, what was the main dream of Dr. Martin Luther King? Yes, for number two, what groups of people do you think are still suffering from the consequences of inequality, injustice, and lack of empathy? Yes, and nowadays, in this modern society, who do you think the people, who are the people who are still suffering from these injustices, for this inequality? And for number three, what can you do to continue the realization of this dream? So as a student, what can you contribute to the society? What can you do for others? What can you do to yourself to continue this kind of dream? So for this part, you are going to tell us about your own experience, especially in this modern society. So what do I think? So below are positive expressions about social justice today. Do you agree or disagree with the expressions below? So present your arguments in not less than 20 words. So for the number one, I live in a fair and just society. Yes, so do you think you live in a fair and just society, or do you live in a fair and just community? So you are going to explain. I agree because if yes, I don't, I disagree or no because yes. For number two, I see that others are being treated with fairness and justice. Yes, do you think all the people around you are being treated fairly by the people? Or do you think you yourself is being treated unfair? So you have to say I agree or disagree and give explanation why. For number three, my school deals with everyone in a fair and just manner at all times. So do you think your school, the Don Manuel A. Javellana Memorial National High School, do you think the school is giving you fair and just treatment as a student, yes, or as a learner? I agree or disagree because and give the reason why. Let us remember, so King emphasizes the fact that the United States owes its black citizens their freedom, described by the founding fathers as an unalienable right. So this desire for freedom has led thousands, even millions, to violent and peaceful protests. Despite not having the exact same experiences, we as fellow human beings must still be concerned and empathize, for we are all one human race. So instead of easily judging people for their outward appearances and dissimilar outlooks, we first and foremost should look at the core of the person and understand where he or she is coming from. Only then can we truly see others better. So, as in simple, we should not judge other people based on their physical appearance. Instead, we should know them and understand them for us to treat them better. So, in this activity, you are going to catch Martin Luther King's dream in a creative presentation. So you're going to highlight his most important dreams about change, liberation, and social injustice. So choose one from the activities below to show what you have learned from our lesson. So there you will be given three options. So you're only going to choose one. So for the first one, create a 2-minute vlog about the speech, its central themes, your take on this, and their relevance to our country. So you are going to make the summary of your understanding for 2 minutes and try to relate it to the present time in our country. Then for the number two, you're going to write a 200-word essay to answer these questions. So the first one is, do you think his dream has come true today? In what ways? And number two, what must still be done to fulfill the dream highlighted in the speech? So you're just going to answer these questions in an essay. And for the last one is you're going to write a poem about change, liberation, and social justice. Yes, so the poem should be 3 stanza, 4-liner with a free verse. In this activity, you are going to take a look back from the history. So you are going to research an example from history about a person or a group of people who worked toward achieving social justice. Accomplish the chart below. So you are going to research of a famous person who did something about social justice. So you're going to fill in the table with the name of a person or organization. What was this person or group fighting for? Or what were some of the efforts they used for achieving social justice? And were these efforts successful? Why or why not? So we are now on the last activity of the lesson 1 from module 1. So here you are going to write your reflection about what you have learned about this lesson. So considering others' life challenges, forming bonds and collaborating with them to impact change is the secret of building a community with equality and social justice. So all your answers must not be less than 20 words. So you are going to complete the following in your answer sheet for the number 1. This lesson taught me, so you are going to share your learnings or your understanding about what we have discussed today, particularly about the speech of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream. And for the number 2, I therefore commit to, so you're going to write your commitment or the things that you wanted to do for the benefit of the community, the society, and even for yourself as a person. Good luck in answering the module. You can do it.